A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
I just wonder, like, if I was talking smack to Pat McAfee, if Mason Crosby would have my back. Like, could Mason beat up Pat McAfee? Because I think he could. I think Mason Crosby could take Pat McAfee. So I would, like, run my mouth. I would poke the bear. I would poke him in the chest. And then, like, I would count on Mason Crosby stepping up behind me to be like, you really want a piece, Pat? Because I'm right here.
Man, I'd have your back as long as, like, what you were saying is legitimate.
Oh, it'd be legit. Yeah, for sure. This is High Noon.
You're just poking fun.
No. I might be out of line a little bit. But
okay.
High Noon. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Orts, Mason Crosby. And if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter and you can't see Mason, it's because he's wearing a camo hat. It's not because he's John Cena,
no,
the
not
host
John
of
Cena
WrestleMania, who was a little too, like, fancy. Like, he was wearing a suit, and it was like he goes too much when he goes fancy, and it's like,
you don't like that change, right?
Dude, you're like from West Newbury, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
like you wear jorts. What are you wearing?
He didn't like rip the sleeves off the suit or anything.
Nothing.
Like, I mean,
he was like straight up.
I think that was going to be something that was going to happen there in WrestleMania. Come on now.
So it was WrestleMania weekend. Brewers take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, and all of our dreams, as Teddy KGB would say, are plopped. We do not have a new defensive lineman in Green Bay, but the Cincinnati Bengals do apparently. So we'll get to that and more. A surprise retirement in WWE last night, and made us think a little bit about Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson and Andrew Luck and some other names that we will get to as well. But as disappointing as Miz's first inning was last night and the Brewers not winning yesterday, I mean, especially when you go on the road, Mace, you got to win the series, right? You win 2 out of 3. And even when you lose the last one, like which gives you maybe a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth, you still got to think big picture. Hey, we won the series, right?
These last 2 series, right? Like, they're just, and going on the road and getting that win down there. I don't know. I think we talked about this a bunch last year. I think winning those first 2, that third game, you're just kind of, it's like, all right, let's kind of get reset, right? Like, it's a day game. It's the weekend. Let's get this thing back on track, and we're going against Detroit now, right? Like, this is going to be a big game coming up on Tuesday.
Off today, and they start up again.
So
Skubal on Thursday.
Yeah. So
Skubal.
Not
Skubal.
Not Skubal.
Yeah.
So
I think skee-ball.
I think winning the first 2 is always nice, because then now you're just sitting in, you got chips in your hand and you're ready to go however you want. And the third game, you'd love to sweep a team every time. And
of course,
for me as a baseball fan and as a Brewers fan, like, I'm disappointed when they don't sweep everybody. But I'm still happy with the result. I can't stop. I got to bring this up. So
yeah, please do.
You talked about this. I'm watching the McAfee and the wrestling,
right? And they're showing it's been a hell of a run. Thank you, wrestling, and whatever.
And so is he done?
McAfee
retiring from it as well? Is that what?
I don't know.
Is
maybe.
he done? Do you think the neck, like, wrestling?
He's 1,000% fine. Like, this.
Do you think it's just one of those things where now it's like part of the script? He got hurt. And like, he was going to get hurt, and they need to put something, and he has to kind of wear this brace for a few days.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm pretty sure now neck braces are like more of like a knee brace, like where it actually has
fake
something substantial. I'm not even sure those soft braces do anything.
All I remember is do you remember the movie? I don't know. Tommy was a little too young to see this adult content. But there was a movie, Wild Things, with Denise Richards and Nev Campbell and Kevin Bacon and Damon,
Kevin Dillon?
Kevin Dillon was in it.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray was the lawyer in it. And he shows up to court one day wearing like one of the fakest neck braces you've ever seen in your entire life. And it's just like, that's what McAfee's wearing. He got beat up by Cody Rhodes Saturday night.
Dude,
he
he's
came
like
back.
shaking his
head. He got
head,
beat up by Randy Orton. Right. It's like, it's It's total. It's total fake it,
It's like,
but it's fun. It's fun. Like it's fun for the storyline. It's like
he's adding to the WrestleMania storyline,
Exactly.
and like how wrestling has their script, and it was like his script was that he was going to get hurt, and he was going to, he was going to sell it a little bit.
it's a little Bobby Petrino vibes on the Pat McAfee show right now.
Yeah, a little bit of that motorcycle accident, right? Well, that was
I
different,
mean,
but-
I don't know if he needed a neck brace or not.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. So I don't know if that means McAfee's done. And if he is, I mean, it's fine. Like, and he's not done. He's going to show up on WWE television numerous
he
times.
loves it.
He works for ESPN. They're in bed together. They're like, they're spooning.
It's never gonna stop,
WWE and
never gonna
ESPN
change.
are in a spooning relationship at this
That's
point.
right.
So the Brewers yesterday dropped 5-3. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. 414-677-1250 as we look. And Friday night, we're going to go to resident expert, big time, Tommy Wirtz on this one. As we talk about the pro debut of Coleman Crow.
Crow.
I want to say
Coleman
crew because
Crow.
it's a brew crew.
Right.
Loved it.
Coleman Crow. And can you tell everybody like just how ridiculous spin rate and his curveball are?
Yeah. So velocity is always talked about with Major League Baseball pitchers, and spin rate's obviously a lot newer. There is actually data that supports batting averages going down the more spin you put on a baseball. And Coleman Crow had the highest spinning cutter they've seen this year in baseball. His curveball is over 3,000 rotations, which is also a ridiculous number.
That's insane.
I think there's a mix of no film out on him
Okay.
and his ridiculous spin rate, but it makes me wonder, can he be a Logan Henderson-esque level of production when he's in the big leagues? Yeah, I think we saw a very good example of that. Marlins team has some sneaky bats with Lopez and Edwards and Stowers getting to play that last game.
Yeah.
And Coleman Crow looked awesome, looked very poised. Something about Brewers first baseman wanting to injure pitchers on first plays of the game, though. That's we can stop doing that, Jake. That's look, I'm calling out Jake. Can't have that happen. Let's make this throw happen.
That's fair.
But Coleman Crow looked awesome, and remember,
Should have gotten the win. When he left, he was in line for the win. It ended up getting tied, and then the Brewers won in 10 innings.
Yeah.
But left, and that was one of the things I was most inspired by, Tommy. And we talked, didn't we? We talked about that Friday night. I called into the show, right?
Mhm.
That I was excited that they didn't take him out in 3 2/3.
They didn't really do that all series. They were
Yeah.
letting the starters go this whole series. Murph was. I mean, Woodruff
Stretching them
got
out a little
7
bit.
innings, and Coleman Crow got a chance for the win. Jacob Mizorowski.
He only got 5, but he was at 97 pitches.
Yeah,
He got his pitch count up there.
go for it. I think that I'm really, really excited about this Brewers starting rotation for not just this season, but for the future now, because they just have so many guys that could go into a starting 5 rotation. They still need to get Priester back, and he might come back and be the 4th best pitcher in the starting rotation now. I think I'm ready to put Chad Patrick up on
For now.
conversation.
Wait, dude, through 4 starts, his ERA is under 1.
Yeah, I'm
Like until something
Insanity.
bad happens, let's let Chad Patrick just Chad Patrick.
And that isn't even including Kyle Harrison, who's looked pretty great, and he'll be back
Yeah.
on the bump tomorrow. That
Yep.
not including guys like Logan Henderson, Coleman Crow, Robert Gasser, that all have an opportunity to come up and play and start games this year. Brandon Sproats looked pretty good his last couple of outings now, too.
He's looked real good.
I'm actually all in on the Brewers starting rotation
Well-
starting this year, and the bullpen I'm completely out on right now. It feels like
You're down on him still.
I can't find it right now. DL Hall looks like he's super rattled at
Come
this
back
point.
to earth. Come back to earth, right?
I don't really love
Rattled.
McGill closing games out.
Okay.
I don't really love Abner Uribe closing games out, to be honest. I like
Okay.
both of them
All
better
right.
as 8th inning guys, and I'm concerned about the 9th inning with them. And it can't be Serpo because
No.
people just hit him at this point.
Well, tell me, you said something early on in your comments about Coleman Crow and them not having any film on him.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also, you said his spin rate and the movement on his pitches and like the uniqueness of what he is. Like are batters going to be able to like hit that if that ball's dropping and moving that much? Like, does it matter if you have film on a guy like that? Like if he's still able to control and move the ball like that. I saw one of those. I mean, I think he threw it 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the ball literally moved like 3 feet.
Yeah, I think he had some that were getting like 40 inches of break or
which
something
has
like
to
that.
be so insane for a batter used to, especially in the starting pitcher world. You know, you got Mizorowski throwing 100, and then you got a guy throwing 75, and that ball just moving all over the place. Those starting pitching, those batters for that starting pitcher have to be like ready for that fast pitch. And all of a sudden it comes out of his hand and it's moving and it's slow, and you're like, when do I go now?
Yeah, to get that timing is just radical. Do you know who's leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts right now, Mason, as a pitcher?
Is it Miz?
It is Miz.
Mm-hmm.
It's our guy.
Yeah, I think he's ready. I think he's ready. I think the lineup yesterday, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Scotty Tiffany bringing it up.
She's already in.
Not sure why Sanchez was catching for Miz. Contreras should have been in. Keep Sanchez with seasoned players like Woodruff.
You think that made a difference?
I think that Gary Sanchez, I am still very confused as to why Jefferson Caro isn't the guy that gets called up instead of Greg Jones. Like in that moment, because Gary Sanchez, quite frankly, needs to not catch baseball games.
I think that's generally true. I think he's a DH at this point.
I think he's a great bat. I want his bat. I just
Agreed.
don't want him behind the plate. There's been countless times of him with the young guys where it hasn't worked out. Yesterday, that first inning, while David Hamilton, field that ball. That's another conversation we were having yesterday on post game on do you just take Joey Ortiz's noodle bat so that you don't have to have David Hamilton's noodle bat? And Gary Sanchez, like William gets in front of that curveball yesterday in the first inning. I really believe that.
Okay.
And I just think that,
and Caro probably does too.
Caro maybe is a better shot if we don't want to see Gary Sanchez, try to play there at that point.
Well, think about Bill Contreras there with Crow. I love that first strikeout. He stood and just like looked up. I don't know if he was looking at his family or whatever, but like just that elite confidence that Bill Contreras brings to this team. Like it was so important to have him catch for a guy like Crow.
All right. But can you have a roster spot for Sanchez if he can only DH? Like I know right now his bat is important. Right now you can. But when Shurio and Vaughn and Yelich get back, right now Sanchez is your backup catcher.
Yeah.
But that means he's going to play once or twice a week. Like
he has to.
Or do you just play Contreras 6 days a week? And if you've got a 6-game week, he catches every game. And if it's a 7-game, then maybe Sanchez gets one. But I just don't know if when they come back, if you need Sanchez's bat as badly, or do you need Caro's defense?
I don't mind it as much early in the season like this. I think getting him in the rotation a little bit more, letting Bill just kind of get into this season and like have a little bit of a couple days off early on here, and then you get kind of into that grind of summer. Then you just lean on Contreras just a little bit more there at the catching position, and you're going to see what else happens. I mean, this is professional sports. There's probably going to be another injury, some sort of, somebody else that's down for extended period of time, and then you just find where you fit them in.
Well, and that's where Tommy's point about the starting rotation is so prescient and important, because somebody's going to get hurt. Like Priester's hurt now, and he'll come back, but somebody else is going to miss some time. And it's kind of a godsend, but it's also a credit to Matt Arnold and his entire organization that they have this depth at the starters, Tommy.
Do you guys know how many players batting under 200 got an at-bat yesterday for the Milwaukee Brewers in the game? Now,
I know 2 did for Miami.
3
for point of reference. 2 did for, I would say more than 3. I think like 4 or 5 probably.
It was 7.
7 guys.
7 players got an at-bat.
Joey Ortiz.
Yep.
Luis Rengifo.
Yep.
Who we love.
Yeah, he's actually
let's talk. I was
going
to bring up Rengifo.
Let's get to him next. Let's get to him
okay, after.
Greg Jones.
Yep.
Blake Perkins.
Yeah,
Luis
Perkins
Matos.
snuck in there.
Sal Frelick and David Hamilton.
Yep.
7 guys batting under 200. But Mason, I know you want to talk about Rengifo because I mean he was 1 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. It looks like slowly he's feeling more comfortable. I don't know.
I texted y'all on, was that Friday?
Yeah.
Rengifo, they put him at third base, and all of a sudden that bat got a little hot. I'm telling you, I think there's something about the position he's playing in. They're in sports like this, like your confidence comes in those situations. Like if he feels uncomfortable, like playing first base or wherever he's at, like, I don't know, maybe he gets to that plate and he's just not, he's not in that good headspace, coming up to the plate. So whenever he was playing third, all of a sudden his bat came alive and, he looked pretty good. So I don't know. He's such an enigma, I guess, if you will, where it's like,
so far at least, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's so much expectation, and I think it's like, we want to see him do well, but if he can't figure it out, like at what point do you sit him down ever? Like for an extended period of time, or like at least have him in a rotation?
If they continue on with if they want to go no Luis Rengifo, then you have to put Joey Ortiz and David Hamilton in the same lineup right now. And
so you're not liking that.
You just can't do it. You just can't do it right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. The question is, and 414-677-1250, as we're looking at this Brewers lineup, who could be the answer at shortstop or third base if it's not currently on the roster? The key there is right now, and Ortiz is not hitting. Hamilton's not a hitter. Rengifo should be hitting better, but is the answer at AAA or is the answer in a trade? They've already made a couple trades this year. They got Matos. They got a AAA pitcher from Arizona who could end up being part of the team or whatever. It's like at some point you look at this team, and if 8 and 9 can't hit, you just make a move or you just bunt every single time.
That's why it's
bunt
not
and run. Let's go.
There's like the topic of Sunday lineup being brought up. Like this team is just.
But this wasn't a Sunday lineup. This is their lineup.
They are decimated right now. Like, I mean, could you go put Joey Ortiz in instead of David Hamilton? Yeah, great. Joey Ortiz has 5 hits in his last 50 at bats right now. If you want to go ahead and try to gamble on that, to your David Hamilton, not a hitter point, Mitch. Yep. I didn't realize, and they said this during the broadcast yesterday, and I have no idea what happened to David Hamilton. In 2023, he hit 17 homers in AAA.
Jeez. In AAA.
Yeah.
Some guys are that way, though.
But watching him play baseball, you're like, there's no way this guy can hit 17 homers in a season.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Was it a park with a short porch? And some guys mentally, like, they come up to the bigs. And Mason, I'm sure you saw that. Like, there are guys who perform in college, in big college football.
Yeah.
But then come up to the pros, and it's like the lights are too bright. Like, it just doesn't click.
Well, you start forcing things too.
Yep.
Like, you're like, all right, well, I have to be exponentially better, or I have to do something better than I did in college because this is professional now.
Yep.
So that's where, we talk about the mental space. Like, how much is it mental, physical? It's like, well, obviously it's 100% of both, and you have to be physically gifted, but you have to have that mental toughness to block out that I have to do something more.
Have you been to
some of these guys, sometimes it takes a little time to click in, and if it doesn't, then the game passes you by.
Mitch, you ever been to the Worcester AAA Stadium?
I've not, because remember when I grew up there was Pawtucket. It was Rhode Island. They've only been Worcester in the last 5 years.
Oh, it was in Worcester. It was in Worcester. He hit 17 homers. So I don't know if that's like known as.
I heard you saying Worcester all weekend, and I was like, Worcester. You got to say,
yeah, exactly.
But you're not a lobster guy, so
I like lobster.
I know, but I like lobster.
Lobster.
Worcester. My parents met in Worcester.
Really?
Yeah. My dad's a dry cleaner. My mom was working for a nonprofit, and then they had me.
That's the story.
That's the story.
The nonprofit dry cleaner baby.
So the story of every good Mitch Thunder.
Was that a Disney movie plot?
Yeah, that's a Disney movie.
The Brewers currently have 6 batters who qualify for stats. Like, they have enough at bats. Contreras is hitting 301. He's 30th.
He's really good.
Bryce Trang is hitting 300. He's 31st.
Also good.
Pretty good.
Garrett Mitchell, 72nd, hitting 260.
Decent.
Yeah.
Luis Rengifo. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Jake Bowers is next.
Stud.
Hitting 133.
Oh, God.
No, he's not. He's 133rd. He's hitting 224.
Yeah, I was like.
Sal Frelick's hitting 191. He's 168th. And Luis Rengifo is 183 out of 197, batting 167.
Yikes.
Now, I will say, though, number 196 out of 197 is our very good friend Caleb Durbin for the Red Sox. He is hitting 141. He is the second worst hitter in baseball who qualifies with enough at bats.
Who's the worst?
Alec Boehm from Philly.
God.
He's 2 points less, 139.
Brian Braum.
Yeah, Brian Braum. Oh, he was the worst. Josh
We're talking about the worst. I don't know.
Shortstop right now.
Josh P. Vegas writes in a couple notes here on our YouTube channel. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube. Those comments do come across on air. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. That's WI Sports Radio. Says as long as we're 500, they don't need to trade for a shortstop. And I think the hope is that when Churio, Vaughn, and or Yelich get back, they're over 500. But right now, they're still 12-9. They're over 500. And he says the AAA guys might be ready later in the season. Tommy, you can fill us more in on this. Like, the guys we're really waiting for are the AA and the single A guys, like the studs. But I know Cooper Pratt is at AAA.
Yeah, and he stinks right now.
Yeah, who's the guy who's hitting all the home runs? Not Lara, the outfielder, but
Brock Wilkin?
No, or is he not even AAA? The double B.
Oh, Blake Burke is double A.
Blake Burke is double A because I know he's raking.
Yes.
But Wilkin is not either. Like the AAA guys are struggling a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Jet Williams,
except
Cooper
for
Pratt.
Luis Lara.
Luis Lara's fun, I guess.
No,
but
dude is destroying everything.
Yeah. They're not.
If they weren't going down here this summer and go to a Sounds game,
dude, first of all, we need to get you to more Sounds games.
Yeah,
and we all need to go to a Sounds game.
I'm looking.
Together.
I think I'm going to go May 3rd. It's Sundays at the Sounds games, or like family fun day, and
do we
get to do little?
Hey, do we get Mason to throw out the first pitch at that game?
I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to somebody,
Tommy. Should we talk to somebody? We know the people. We know
Jeff.
Yeah,
we can talk to Jeff.
We know the manager. We know the play-by-play guy. Let's go.
Yeah.
I am gonna say this though, that the Brewers this season either need to get a deal done with Bryce Terang or Jesus Madej. I mean, they just have to. They have. Madej is 18 years old and he's hitting 333 in AA with an OPS over 1,000.
That's crazy.
He's unreal. He's the youngest player by like 3 years in the league, and he is one of the best.
Just
players.
give him a shot. Let's
I mean, just get a deal done with him at least.
Get a deal done. Right, a deal's not happening. You know, a deal's not happening with Terang. They're not making a deal with Terang. I'm telling you,
you should find that unacceptable.
I'm not saying I'm happy about it. I'm just telling you.
Is he going to go play shortstop somewhere else? Is that why?
No, if he plays shortstop somewhere else, he's got to play shortstop for the Brewers.
Just saying.
He's not playing shortstop.
You think they're not going to get a deal done just because
of what Nico Horner got paid with the Cubs?
They can't pay him,
and they're not going to pay him $25 million a year for 6 years. They're not going to sign him a 6-year, $150 million deal, and that's what he's going to get.
Do you think he would accept the deal today if they stepped up and did it, or do you think he's
Tommy? If they offered him 6 for 150 right now, is he accepting it?
Probably not.
See,
they should just give him a blank check though, and anything 20.
What is he have a 19
million
game on base? Is that
he's been on base every game this year?
It's over 20 games now.
So because it was the last 5. It was the last 5 from last year, and they're at 21, so he's at 26. Real quick, we got some messages on the talking text line. Remember, Nicolay Law talking text line is 414-677-1250. T in Lacrosse says Rengifo smacked the ball early, but right at a defensive player. He was robbed. Schwartzender says, I'd like a regular lineup. Just go with it for a few series. Mitchell, Terang, Contreras, Sanchez, Bowers, Sal, Lockridge, Rengifo, and then Ortiz or Hamilton, which isn't really a regular lineup. But that, Murph's just not going to do that. 4 and 4.
I like this line. I like this comment.
This one, some guys are just 4A players like Keston Hiura. I know a lot of us love Keston Hiura. Like I loved Keston Hiura, but he just couldn't do it. And Garrett 4A, Mitchell,
they don't actually become pro. They're
just 4A.
They just come up.
And I feel like that's more often with pitchers than hitters. That like guys go down to AAA and just like are really good pitchers, but it never translates.
That makes sense.
And then Garrett Mitchell has a Does he really have a 430 on base percentage right now?
Yep. But read the whole text. Read the whole
text. It says
text.
Tommy Garrett Mitchell is only decent with a 4. I have to assume he's being sarcastic.
Yeah. But do you
With
know
a 430 on base percentage.
we are 2 weeks away from literally it being the most we have seen Garrett Mitchell play, second most we've seen Garrett Mitchell play a season. He's at 19 games. His career high is 69. His second career high is 28 in a season. That was his rookie year. So yeah, I'm going to say
Garrett Mitchell and Bryce Strang are 3rd and 4th in Major League Baseball in on-base percentage.
Yeah, they're studs.
Garrett Mitchell's 3rd, Bryce Strang is 4th.
Garrett Mitchell's playing really well.
Yes,
playing really well.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
take him. I'm just saying.
Like Garrett
You're
Mitchell.
just saying hold your horses. We all like Garrett Mitchell. Everybody likes Garrett Mitchell. Everybody's rooting for him to succeed.
Correct.
We just haven't seen it yet.
We got break.
He's never stayed healthy. Tommy says we have to break, and he is our producer, so we're going to break now. Remember when Josh Albrecht was a producer for John Kuhn? That was fun.
Brutal.
Let's talk a little Giannis when we come back. Giannis had some comments over the weekend, and I want to I want to fight Pat McAfee because Mason's got my back. Like if I fought Giannis, I think Giannis is going to beat me up, and Thanasis.
I don't think I would back you up.
Well, especially because he's got Thanasis, and Thanasis should be a professional wrestler. Why is Thanasis still playing basketball and not in the WWE? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. He's huge and he loves wrestling. And he loves wrestling. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. You are you, whoever you are, and we love you all. It's the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. My name's Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy. We're Tommy, okay?
This is like Maui meets Pirates of the Caribbean.
I like it. It's
This
almost
is
like 300.
Oba Femi, the brand new ruler who beat Brock Lesnar last night. We'll get to more of that later. But Oba Femi, the new the new up and coming star of the WWE.
Mommy Tommy out here choosing violence today.
She wants some?
She's roasting both of you guys.
Oh, okay. Mommy Tommy, whatever,
She
dude.
said, why must Mitch choke himself every day?
Like,
Because your zip up
this
is
high-
going all the way
it's
up.
not.
high zip.
Yeah,
There's room. There's
a little
room.
room. And then she said,
I like zip
Mason's
ups.
headphones looks like he's about to fly a helicopter.
What's wrong with that? Like, I don't think she chose violence. She chose
I'm not
weak.
sure.
She
She's
chose
just pointing
weak
things
sauce.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
She's literally
Mama
just being
Tommy, I don't know what
observant.
else to do. These are the only headphones I have.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Just letting you guys know that she's
Yeah,
looking out for you.
I don't think that's
judge
violence. I
us,
think that's just like
Mama Tommy.
being observant of things that are irrelevant.
She's just
I
observing.
will
She's
see
just-
any. Oh, lamp. I love
Yeah,
love.
like-
I love
wall.
carpet. Brick, are you just saying things that you see in the room that you love them? I love lamp.
I
love lamp. Oh, this is
Killed a guy with a trident. I saw that. Should probably lay low for a while.
oh my gosh. So that movie is so I'm on record, by the way, real quick. Anchorman. I'm on record, and you guys can kill me on this, and that's okay. I don't think Anchorman's a great movie. I think it has a million great lines.
Facts.
Is that fair?
I agree with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
I mean, come on.
obviously
I don't think
it.
anyone said it's a great
Okay,
movie.
I'm just making
It's,
sure.
yeah,
I'm just making
it's just all one-liners.
and it's so good.
So does Shams, is he a great reporter or does he just have a lot of good one-liners when it comes to Giannis?
Neither. He's a bad reporter who makes things up and then tells everybody their facts, and you can come and meet him in a dark alley and he'll defend himself.
Ooh.
Not against me, he won't.
Man, you're wanting to fight everybody.
I'm fine, dude. It was WrestleMania weekend.
Gosh.
Tonight is the
All right,
Raw.
I'm gonna have to,
Tonight's
like-
even better. It's the Raw after WrestleMania. Tonight is where it should really jump off. Yeah.
Okay,
This is where the real
one.
wrestling fans show up.
Yeah.
Tom,
right.
dude, Tommy
That's
and I need to start training for all this backup we're gonna have to do whenever you just start throwing bows out there.
I mean, I got you guys. I got Charlie. I got Brandon. Like, I got some good backup.
I would lead with Snide.
Because
I would lead with Snide.
Because I'm getting my butt kicked by everybody. Like, I'm not a small guy, but I'm not strong.
You're bringing the words, and then
Yes,
you're just
yes.
gonna let everybody else come, step in.
Right.
I
I'm
got
not. I'm not like I'm Jimmy the Mouth of the South Heart. Like,
There it
I'm
is.
talking the smack, and then I'm hiding behind the Heart Foundation.
I got
Bret
my
Hart,
friends
like that.
here,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's what I used to do with my brother and my dad. It was like we'd be wrestling on the floor, and I'd always throw him because I knew my dad wasn't gonna do anything,
Right.
do anything to him. But it's just like we'd always pillow wrestle on the floor, and we had these huge pillows, and I'd toss my brother
like American
distract
Gladiator
my
style,
dad.
just
Yeah.
like bam.
Yeah, and so my dad would kind of give him the little, little knockover, and then I'd jump over, on the top ropes and try to get to my dad.
Love that.
And you got to use what you got there.
That's right.
I think my brother still hates me for that, but
That could be. That could be. Speaking of brothers, the Antetokounmpo brothers.
So nice.
Yeah,
That's okay.
they love the opportunity to play or not play together, and they did not get that opportunity this year. But we've been through this all season, and this weekend, Giannis. I don't even know where he was, Tommy, but like Giannis said some things that made a lot of sense and probably were pretty idiotic to say as well.
Well, yeah. So just in case anyone is listening that was a above average level athlete in their sport, you can apparently get Giannis as a guest if you are Goran Dragic in the NBA.
He
now.
played a minute for the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, Giannis was on Goran Dragic's podcast talking about the trade rumors throughout the season and how maybe in hindsight he should have handled things a little differently.
So I'm gonna say two things. One is that this was the first time that it was like real.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, like it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it was real, that I wanted to trade. Like it was, bro, everywhere I went, like in the street, people would tell me, don't leave, don't this, don't do that, please stay, this. Like, it was real. Like back in the day when I was younger, 25, 24, they would always say this stuff.
Yeah.
But then maybe like a week later, it will turn off. They will talk about the different story. This year, every day, social media, turn the TV on, First Take, ESPN, blah, 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 this, Giannis, 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 Giannis. And what I did, I had my family stayed in Greece, right? So, because also I wanted my family to, learn Greek and be around that culture. So I told them stay there because also there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I came here. I was locked in, but this was the first time in my NBA career that it was everywhere. It was everywhere, and I think if I'd ever been in that position, if I could chase something, maybe I come out and shut it down because I think people wasn't listening to me. Like I was saying, like, oh, Giannis, come out and act for a trade. Giannis, come out and do this. Giannis, I'm like, first of all, people that I respect and people that I love, I would have conversations with them, right? My coach, my GM,
Behind
people that
the closed door, of course,
yeah, But I kept saying, like, I was like, guys, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. Oh, yeah, whatever. Blah, blah. Giannis is going to the Knicks. Oh, okay. 2 weeks later, I'm here, guys. I'm locked in. I got hurt, but I'm coming back to play here. Oh, Giannis is going to Miami. They wasn't listening to what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
So, if I could turn the time back, I would maybe say, come out a little bit earlier. It's like, hey, guys, this ends today. Look at me in my eyes. I'm staying with Milwaukee until further notices. Ends today. Stop, making stories and after stories and after stories. But
So Mason, should Giannis have called Shams in January and said shut it down? Said this, there's no smoke
Giannis
here.
shouldn't have. Like again, if that is like how he feels, he should have had his representatives. Like he has an agent, he has PR marketing people. Somebody should have said, hey, you're throwing these things out there. Like our player does not want you to keep using his name to get clicks and to get, all this attention because he is not saying these things. His conversations behind closed doors are about this team and about the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, again, I love everything about Giannis. I love what he's about. I love Giannis as a player. But at the same time, he does have this, like, he's a little naive, it feels like. And we talked about it with the booing, right? It's like his perception is like he's just a little off in how he sees things. It's like, Giannis, you are a superstar. Like, they're going to talk about you until you or your people tell them that this is ridiculous. Please stop using my name to get your ratings up, right? So I think that was the biggest miss in all of that. And then again, just his awareness needs to maybe get up a little bit on how this whole thing works.
How this bit, right? He acknowledges every day it's a business, and if it's a business, be a businessman and figure it out. And I like that. That it makes me a little like I kind of like that he's naive in that way. We liked that about him for a long time. But now it's come back to bite us, and it's come back to bite him. And it's frustrating because he's not 22 anymore. He's not 18 anymore. He's not 26 anymore. He knows how this works. He's been in the league for 13 years. Like, get a clue, bro.
Being surprised
not okay
that they're talking about it.
Right.
And then I like that he acknowledged, though. He's like, in hindsight, like, again, he's a human. He was having conversations with the people he felt like it was important, his teammates, his coach, and the people in control there at the Bucks. But like, you also have an obligation as a superstar to put that word out there to the world and say, this is unfounded. This is not true. Like, but he also said in that podcast, like, until further notice, right? So in his mind, he just doesn't want him to talk about it until he makes a decision or until the decision is made. And that's just not the world we live in anymore, right? Like, that's
right. Like,
Shams is sports.
Shams is probably going to talk about it anyway, right? Even if Giannis had called him in January and shut it down, or came out publicly and said, I'm a Buck and that's it. Because at some point he did say that.
He did say that.
But then people kept talking about it because Giannis's people were talking about it. And I would say, like, Giannis, this is an internal problem with your team, like your PR people, your agent, your whoever it is. And I know you came out and said, well, if you didn't hear from me, if you heard from my agent, he's a human being too, and he can say whatever he wants. No. You control that message. And if you've lost control, then that's on you, man. Like that's a major failing of you, not of your team, not of your agent, you.
Yeah. And it was just like again, Giannis got hurt, and then there's speculation about, his comments and how they handled his injury and all of those things. And then I do feel like it ramped up again, like Giannis is gone, right? Like it's just the narrative it has not been led in a good way around, is Giannis staying or is he going to be traded? The Bucks ownership came out and said it's one or the other. Like, so we're very clear. He's either signing that extension. Like if he stays, the expectation is he's signing a 4-year max deal, or they're going to move on. So we're kind of in that window now where we're gonna see what happens.
Did you see his Miami comments, Mitch Nellis?
I did not, but I did predict, and I am on record, and I will stay on record. I believe Giannis will be a member of the Miami Heat next year.
All right, let's get more.
You know how I am. We are loyal. We are loyal people. When people believe in us and people like help us and make us, stand on our feet, it's very hard for you to turn your back. But at the same time, you're competitive. You want to win. Yeah. Everybody wants to win. So you got to make the best decision for yourself. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Can I say something? You're 31 years old, so you need to think about your knees, to be loose. So you need warm climate, man.
Hey, Miami is not a bad place, man. It's beautiful city.
Can I go to Kalshi right now? Can I go to Call? Like, what are the can I build that on Kalshi? Can I?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Right, that Giannis will be a member of the Miami Heat next year. I mean, I'm predicting it. I'm not cheering for it. I don't want it to happen. Of course, I like being right. I'm a human being, but I'd much rather him be a member of the Milwaukee Bucks if the Bucks are going to be competitive. If he's on the Bucks, if he's on the Bucks and they're going to lose 50 games again, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. Whenever you pay somebody 4 years, 250 or whatever that number is, like, and then they're still not competitive. That'd be a tough one. I don't know. Like, would fans, are we signing up for that? Like, is Giannis that important in a sense, like to have him on in this organization that even if he signs that deal and we keep Giannis at the Bucks, but they still aren't competitive, are we happy about that? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's a bigger question. Is
that good stewardship of of everybody's money and like what everyone is willing to do for this organization? So those are the questions they have to answer.
Yeah, let's table that question because that's a great one for us to get into as well. But we're going to get to break. When we come back, we're going to set things up for the next hour. We're going to talk some, honestly, whatever we want. We're going to talk about Mason's hat, I think, is really where we're going.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, have a little fun weekend.
He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show. All right, it's the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz around here doing 100 different things at once. And it's just, it's a Monday after a big weekend. Mason, I started this last Monday. You weren't on, but I take 30 seconds in the last segment of the first hour and just let everybody know where the Brewers are in the standings.
Yeah.
I just like throwing it out there.
Let's do it.
Brewers are 1.5 out of first right now. They are tied for last with the Cubs. The entire NL Central, I don't know if you saw this, Mace. The entire NL Central is over 500.
Yep.
They are the best division in baseball. And the Brewers and Cubs, because they're tied, they are also tied just half a game out of the wild card.
Nice.
But because
So
the
keep
entire
that playoff hope
right and
alive early.
And the entire division is like so tough. I mean, all 5 teams separated by 1.5 games.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so every week this is going to change so much with all 5 of these teams, and they're all going to be like smushed together, but they could, you win 2 in a row and you go from last to first, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So do you like that? Do you think that's a positive thing come playoff time that you played a tough schedule against your division?
I think that when your division is better, I think the thing that it hurts is like last year they won 97 games. Because they were able to eat against Pittsburgh and St. Louis was down and Cincinnati wasn't good. Tougher. And if your teams are better, it's harder to get to that many wins. But if you are able to be the team that survives out of that, I do think maybe that does make you tougher.
I'm almost thinking baseball more than like football. Because in football, a tough division, you might get beat up. It's it's taxing. It's more taxing throughout the course of a season.
Yep.
Playing against those teams, and you got to play them twice. And in baseball, you're kind of playing better competition, and it's going to serve you well down the stretch.
That's true. Mason, we only got 30 seconds left in this hour. We'll talk about it. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some NFL as well. Because Mason, Thursday night's the NFL draft.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
We also got the NBA award finalists and some names on those lists, some names not on those lists. So we'll get into that. Yep. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show.
See you at 1.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz, and Mason Crosby all along for the ride today. Mace, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, just ready for this 1 o'clock hour, and I'm excited to hear why Ryan Rollins got snubbed.
Yeah, he did get snubbed a little bit. How's the patient?
Oh, did you?
No,
my patient.
Yeah, your patient.
Well, I have two today.
No.
Another kid home. She had a slight fever this morning. But,
98.7 is not a fever, Mason.
No, she was over 100.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Then I checked her later in the day, a couple hours later, and she was fine. But
you're fine now, go to school family?
No, I was like, send her right now as soon as I checked her. But Molly had already sent in the reason was because she had a fever, and schools kind of frown upon if you had a fever, you got to take the day.
They love just not letting kids go to school now too. On top of it, the school not just.
There's a lot of stipulations. If you threw up once, you can't go to school for until for a day, and then. I'm like, gosh, I remember throwing up, and then it was like, oh, I'm not puking anymore.
Yep, get on over, go on. Yeah, I know. It's
kids don't even have to do the fake illnesses anymore. It's just my stomach hurts. All right, well, I can't go to school.
School doesn't even want you then, right?
How many weeks in a row
they won't allow you in?
How many weeks in a row are you now where you've had a kid home at least one day during the week?
Dude, I can't remember the last time I've been in my house without somebody else here. It's crazy. I mean. Yeah, Elizabeth's here and in the room with me, hanging out. She's
just doing her thing.
She's enjoying her day. They have testing the rest of the week, like the state testing stuff. So she'll go back tomorrow for sure because those are important. But Molly's at physical therapy. She just
nice.
Finishing up. Her parents took her, so she's getting some time with them and getting to start that rehab process.
That long road.
Yep.
All right. So the NBA award finalists were announced over the weekend, and there were a number of guys who were up for most improved player.
Yeah.
Your three finalists ended up being Jaime Jaquez Jr.
For most improved player.
For what did I say?
He said most improved.
No, that's not the list I have right here. He's not on it for the final three.
Yeah.
Isn't
it? Okay, maybe I have the wrong list. I was listening to Reggie Miller this morning talk about who he thought the three finalists were. So maybe it was wrong.
Maybe it was just
Denny Avdia.
Yeah, Avdia.
Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Right.
And Jalen Duren are the lists that I have.
Oh, Duren.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think. Maybe those were the guys I heard. Yeah. All right.
Just got.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe he's not on the list.
Man. All right. So
that was my pick. Gosh.
Avdia, Duren, and Alexander Walker. Duren, an all-star for the Detroit Pistons. Yeah. Alexander Walker
deserving.
Was not an all-star, but had a great season with the Hawks. And Avdia had a great season, an all-star with the Portland Trailblazers. Not on the list was Ryan Rollins. So I go to NBA.com, and NBA.com has some ranking like per game numbers. So qualified players who've seen the biggest jumps in points, plus rebounds, plus assists, plus steals, plus blocks per game this year versus last year.
Okay.
Guess who's number one on that list?
I'm going to guess Ryan Rollins.
Ryan Rollins is number one on that list. Alexander Walker's fourth. Avdia is ninth. I don't see Jalen Duren on this list at all.
Wow.
And
do you think it's because of how the season went? I mean, do you think?
They've got the
There is absolutely a winning bias to this record, similar to MVP, different. I mean, MVP is always going to be given to a player on a team that was excellent. Like very rarely, Andre Dawson in 1989 won it with the last place Cubs, but unless you do something truly remarkable, you're not winning it on a team even with a losing record. Alexander Walker goes from Minnesota to Atlanta, has a great season.
Yeah.
Avdia, I think this was his second year with Portland, and was a lottery pick with the Washington Wizards. Never really panned out there and has exploded. And in his first couple playoff games has actually played. He had 30 last night.
Portland in.
Yep. And he had 40, I think, something against the Suns in the playing game. And then
I think obviously Ryan Rollins is getting on this finalist list if he was able to lead this Bucks team without Giannis and get him to the playoffs. I think it's he's a shoo-in to be at least one of the top 3 here.
Should he have been anyway?
I don't know. I guess in my mind, I guess I have the bias. Like,
you have the bias? Yeah.
Yeah. If it's MVP or any of these awards, it's hard for me to give those awards to somebody that's not on a playoff, at least a playoff team.
Because you look at a guy like Avdia, and it's not like, his numbers didn't explode from last year. They were better than last year, but Portland made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like Portland got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Atlanta is the what are they? The 6 seed or the 5 seed in the East.
Yep.
And obviously Detroit is the 1 seed. Like Jalen Duren, I don't even know if he really deserves it. I had him on my fantasy team this year, and he was really good. Yeah. But I don't know that he was an all-star.
Solid.
Right, solid. He's an all-star mostly because he's a center, and that position is weak. But it's like
you look at Detroit, and you're like, all right, they're the 1 seed.
Yeah, you got to put somebody in there.
Yeah, and he's I guess improved, but it's just like you look at that and you say, all right, this guy has helped this team to get to that spot, and I think that's what's deserving of these types of awards.
When Giannis is not on the court, is Ryan Rollins the best player on the Bucks?
Well, if you had to
like
think
maybe, but I don't think he's better than KPJ. Like there are nights that Kuzma's better. There's nights that Bobby's better. There's nights that Miles is better. Like, do
you even like most improved player, like as an award?
I do if it means something to your team.
Like
Like if Ryan Rollins lifted the team to the playoffs, then that means
Giannis,
something. Like as the most improved player, but like to have the most improved player on a team that lost 50, and no shade at him specifically. Like I think Ryan Rollins had a really nice season, and I'd like to have him on my team
for sure.
Like I think he's a nice player.
There's no doubt about that.
But do I need him to win most improved for me to believe in him? Do I think he's like the second best player on this team?
But again, really. Too, are the 3 finalists, are they guys on their team like you were saying, Detroit and Portland and the Hawks? Like, did they put those teams on their back? Like, was it at that level? Because obviously they're not MVP.
Avdia definitely put his team on his back.
Yeah,
and Alexander Walker, with the moves that the Hawks made, definitely was. Jalen Johnson was their stud, but Alexander Walker was absolutely a difference maker for that team. Jalen, like for Detroit, that's Cade Cunningham's team. Yeah. So like he played a really big role, but he's not near the other 2. But Avdia and Alexander Walker absolutely deserve to be
probably going to win it.
I think Avdia is probably going to win it.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird because he went from Washington to Portland, like from one NBA albatross to another, and got Portland into the playoffs, which is like, man, I don't think a lot of people, even with Drew Holiday on their team, so like they were favored to win the NBA title. Yeah. Because when Drew Holiday goes to a new team, he wins the NBA championship.
That's what he does,
right? I think that. So I don't know. That one. That was.
So do you think Portland's going to be good? If Dame comes back healthy, and
I don't know.
Got Drew Holiday.
I don't know. They might make it a bigger mess. Like he might be done and shoot too much. I have no idea. Like we have no idea what's going to happen with this Portland team. Like they're just kind of a mess.
Is that kind of that mindset though? Like, are you rooting for Dame to in that realm, or are you hoping that he rebound and has a lot of success? Like, what if he goes to Portland and all of a sudden we see the Dame, the Dame that everyone expected to come to the Bucks and has a couple, couple really good years.
It could happen, but that leads me back to the conversation we just had about Giannis, Mace. And, Dame, from the minute he came to Milwaukee, he was going through an ugly divorce. and he admitted there was a mental strain, and like he was kind of a mess. And I don't know if Giannis is going to talk about this too publicly, or if he's talked about it a little bit, but I do wonder about the mental stress of his family being in Greece, which he wants his family to be in Greece. Like he supported that. But again, he talked about how he saw it over and over that people were talking about Giannis. Well, if he's got 4 kids under 8 in Milwaukee, he's not seeing the media coverage. He wouldn't have seen as much as he had seen. He wouldn't have been a part of it. And I do wonder like what the mental stress was on Giannis this year, not being with his family.
I love that. I love that take. I mean, yeah, the line he said, like I wanted him to stay in Greece so they can like learn
Greek, learn the culture, learn. I think that's great, but
it is great. But I'm also, again, we talk about this with all these, a superstar like that. It's like you can teach them, like you can teach them in Milwaukee, right? Like I get it. The culture, you have to go and you have to be immersed in it, and you need all that. But you have those times. You have you can go all summer.
Right. You got May through September.
Yeah. I mean, that's a long window to really, get them immersed in the Greek culture. And it's amazing to think that you have both. Like, I think there's a beauty in having both of them.
Absolutely.
But each person to the prerogative. But I do think that you hit it spot on. Like him not having his family throughout the course of a season, like, maybe undue stress that he shouldn't have put on himself.
And knowing what a big family guy he is.
Yeah,
like,
Giannis
has talked about since the day he got here, where he could barely speak English. Like he talked about how important his family was, and how important his brothers were, and how important his parents were. And we know how close he was with his dad, and how close he still is with his mom. And I'm guessing he feels the same way about his wife and same way about his kids. And I love the fact that he wants, these kids who were born in America and are growing up in America to learn that. And I do wonder, like, there are times, that I think we saw, like, Alex as a high schooler at Whitefish Bay Dominican, like he didn't have the same childhood necessarily as his older brothers did.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, how much of an impact that has on Giannis. But I also wonder on the flip side, like, yes, you have the ability, you have hundreds of millions of dollars to have them have this amazing life in Greece, but how much did not having them here, like, make you, get wear on you?
Well, I'll tell you this, like, so Molly and I, just from personal experience, like we dealt with that all the time, that tension of do we stay in Green Bay full time?
Yep.
Or do we relocate, like, because inevitably the career is going to end at some point, and it's like, do y'all go somewhere? And so 2020,
I was going to ask, what did you guys do? What did you guys do your New York year also? So,
well, that was just a few games. So
okay.
Yeah, that's a different story. But this one was this was that turning point. So 2020, and then, COVID hits and all the things, but we were about to try the Molly and the kids somewhere else.
Oh,
and I was just going to play out my last 3 years in Green Bay, and they were going to try to come and visit and do all that. And sure enough, like, as we kind of were about to buy a house and do all of those things, it was just like, this just makes no sense for our family. Right. Thinking about, the kids, and they're not going to, they're only going to see me occasionally. And it sounds really good that they come and visit, but it's also like, the kids have activities, they have all their things, like, to pull them out of those moments all the time, just to make sure they can come and watch me play a game. I think it's important to understand how your family, and Giannis talks about loyalty. I do think for Giannis, that's why this is so hard for him.
Yeah.
Talking about trades and all that, because from the onset of being a Milwaukee Buck, I mean, he is loyal to the Bucks and the community and the people that, have formed who he is today. And as a player, that's a hard space to divide the business and that loyalty and, like, those relationships and decide what's best for you.
Yeah.
And he's obviously struggling with that. So it's going to be interesting to see here in the next, couple months what that decision is.
414 writes into the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250. Giannis's wife and kids were at multiple Bucks home games this season. I don't think they were in Greece. They were in Greece to start the season. So yes, they did end up coming back, and I think I don't know where they are now, but they did spend a decent amount of time in Milwaukee this year. But they also were in Greece a lot of the year as well. And again, like when you have the ability to go back and forth, like it's not like they were struggling with coach tickets or anything like that, or like, you know, whatever living conditions were or whatever. Like they're in good places, but it's still like there's still a strain on the body.
There's still on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're such young kids, right? Like,
right.
I mean, moving kids around is no joke. So
no,
the strain too with husband and wife, like, you know, if she's dealing with all those things, moving the kids around, doing all this stuff, like you can be have a very strong marriage and like be very confident in doing those things. But over a course of a few months, that starts to wear on you a bit.
I've got a number of topics in my head that all lead us into our next segment.
Okay.
And I've got an NBA one and I've got an NFL one. And in our next segment, we're going to talk about retirements and guys who maybe retired before, like surprising retirements, that sort of thing. I know not all of you, JB in the 920, 920, aren't all wrestling fans, and that's okay. But Brock Lesnar with a surprise retirement last night at WrestleMania made us think, like, who are other guys? And there was a moment, I think it was on Friday. It was Friday night when it was clear Golden State was going to lose to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr got Draymond and Steph around him. And they started talking about, like, yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And then Draymond, of course, and Devin Booker get into it and he gets kicked out, which I think is why Steve Kerr got them together. Because I think he kind of gave his blessing to Draymond to go do it. You go
one more time.
Exactly. But that was an you don't always see that. You don't always see that opportunity. There's a lot of people who think like Steve Kerr is done. Like he had his run with the Warriors. Who knows where Draymond ends up? Yeah. People think Steph is probably going to stay with Golden State and see how that goes. That was an interesting. That was an interesting.
You kind of
moment on the court.
It was a moment.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. The other topic, and this one's a little closer to your heart, Mason, is we got no idea what Aaron Charles is going to do.
Yeah.
Right. We got like the Steelers are hosting the draft on Thursday. It is in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going into this draft without an answer, and with reports today saying that Aaron doesn't expect to have an answer anytime before the draft happens. Is there any way, Mace?
Who's the quarterbacks on their roster?
Will Howard. Will Howard is like their guy. Yeah. Is there any way, Mace, that this is a WWE moment? That Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers have something planned for this, that Aaron's going to announce Thursday? I'm back, baby. Let's go Steelers.
What better way to do it? Yeah. Right? I mean, that's
to announce the first round pick.
He announces the first round pick as the new Steelers.
As a future teammate of his on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes. Yeah. We could write the script. We could write the script.
Yeah.
But why? Yeah. Why would you? Like, if that's the case, like, I think it's like add that drama, add that like energy to the draft.
I love that.
If he comes in and does it that way, like, that would be fitting for Aaron, but it's also fitting for him to stay quiet. And then, they draft a quarterback in the, second or third round. And then he's like, well, that guy's not going to get it done. Now here's my number. I'm coming back. Right. So you could see Aaron going both ways, but that would add for cinema and drama here on Thursday night. I'd be all for it.
Yep. NBC Sports, Mike Florio. I don't know what you think of Florio, Mace. We haven't talked about Florio, but he's got a report out today that that the Pittsburgh Steelers are tapping the brakes on rumors that there might be an Aaron Rodgers announcement coming Thursday.
Interesting.
He says that the Steelers haven't heard from Rodgers as to whether he plans to play. They do not expect a decision from him before the curtain rises on round one. And that there are still some people expecting a WWE style announcement Thursday and or Friday by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go to the phone lines. I don't have the screen up, Tommy, so I'm going to have you introduce.
It's Ram.
Oh, Ram from north side of Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
We
Ram. Yeah, Ram, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
I'm glad you guys heard of me.
What do you got, bud?
Oh, wow. Mitch, sometimes you throw me on the bus sometimes, Mitch, but I still love you, though.
That's fair. I do.
I'm gonna go back to the Golden State. I'm a big Golden State Warrior fan. One thing there's a couple things I like about them is I don't know if you remember, but when Looney got his number retired, and that's when KD was on the team, the whole team went to Hamilton High School, and I don't think no sports team that I can think of, and I've been watching sports since 73, has ever done that. I mean, you know, they retired. So Steph, everybody, there's pictures that's out there about that. So when I think of the Warriors, the first time I went out there, when I was stationed out in California, I went to the old Coliseum. And
nice.
had the whole TMC thing going on. And they were, they were a losing team, but they were exciting. It's family. And I even had a chance to meet Rick Barry. He's still part of the organization.
Yes, he is. Yep.
80.
He was a broadcaster for them for years.
Yeah. And Chris Mullin is out there. So, far as with Steve Kerr, what I'm told, they got rid of Dunleavy. He's out of there. I think he's going to move to the front office. Iggy, I'm hearing, is going to be the new GM. And they might go back and get Clay's contract. So it's more of a family. And another thing I say this, if you go back when the Warriors beat Boston,
Okay.
that championship picture, they took a picture inside a TD Garden.
Okay.
And it's families and children. Like, I've never seen no sports team. So when you hear Matt Barnes, these people talk about the Warriors, he felt grateful that they even came back and got him, and he wasn't even playing. So I think the Warriors situation is different.
Okay.
I think the people outside of the base really don't know really what's happening with them, but I think they have loyalty. Like what Giannis is talking about, they have loyalty to their players that still want to be around. I mean, Sean Livingston, he works for the organization.
And I think
So they kinda
Ram,
keep it as a family.
I hear your flowers you're giving to the Warriors. I think
absolutely.
there's a lot of organizations that have former players around. Not everybody, and
But I
your
think
experience.
because I know
let's be
Jordan
honest,
Poole,
Ram, I'm talking. Ram, I think you need to remember that this is an organization you pay attention to and you have a loyalty to. So you're going to give them their flowers more than others. I think it's, important to remember that other organizations have very similar things. Other organizations take pictures with all the families and stuff like that. It's not just the Warriors.
Wish I would have been out there. I probably would have went to the school, but
He's still talking. Unbelievable.
That would have been cool.
All right. Thanks for the call, Ram.
Appreciate you, Ram.
Yeah.
He mentioned Rick Barry. I don't know. I think I mentioned to y'all. I got to hang out with John Barry, his son, who is, I think, doing stuff with Golden State now.
He was a good shooter back in the day. Yeah.
Television stuff with ESPN. So
Nice.
he goes to those pro
Really
tour
good
golf
college
events.
player.
He's a good golfer.
Is he?
Oh,
He was a
good
really good college player. Brent Barry, I think, was the best one in the pros of the kids.
Nice.
Let's talk a little retirement talk when we come back.
Let's do it.
Guys who retired too early, guys who retired too late, guys who surprised us with their retirements, guys who are still playing now who should be retired.
How bad Mason Crosby is at retiring?
No, he's really good at it. He's retired he's in, and now he's in 19 Hall of Fame.
Most retirements ever done before.
I mean,
in
if you
history.
can
Most
retire and get
retirements
into
ever.
19 different Hall of Fames within 7 months,
I just
you're
want to
doing
keep
something
having
right.
retirements. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show. The beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, lost last night at WrestleMania to up-and-coming Oba Femi. After the match, he took off his gloves, he unlaced his boots, and he left them in the middle of the ring, which is a universal sign for I am done. I know.
Is that the universal sign in wrestling?
That is. Yep. Yeah. Undertaker did that when he lost his last match against Roman Reigns. John Cena did that when he lost his last match against Gunther. I think AJ Styles did it as well.
Do they do that in any other sport? Do guys go leave their cleats in the middle of the logo in the NFL stadium?
High school does. I've seen high school athletes do that.
Like
football, girls soccer. I've definitely seen them leave their cleats on the field.
Like LeBron is 100% going to go put his shoes in the middle of the
that'd be cool.
And then walk away.
Yeah. I think that's so if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I come back for one more year so I can leave my cleats on the field.
Just
that's why.
Runs out with the American flag just to put his cleats on the field to run back into the stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any other. I don't know that there's any other sign like that, sign of respect to the sport you played.
You think that's like what it is, like, or is it just? I mean, is it a sign to the people? Like you think you're respecting the game, like leaving your stuff on the
Like I'd love Shohei Ohtani's done, and he leaves his batting gloves in the batter's box,
or his glove on the mound,
or both.
You can literally do both.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
But
I will say, I just don't think most people know or like kind of have decided they're done.
Sure.
In that moment, right?
I was
it takes a little time.
I was going to ask you, Crosby, that, I mean, you're someone who we've seen as a pro athlete retire right in front of our eyes, and it takes a while to get to that mindset, and very few times it feels like people are going out on their own terms when they want to be done, before maybe the league tells them you can't make it here anymore, and you should probably consider it.
Yeah. I think there's a combo of those things, and I do think that, like, you're exactly right. Sometimes you have to go through that process of, kind of soul searching or just deciding, like, hey, like I'm not chasing this thing anymore. Like, very rarely is somebody, and if you have that mindset where this is my last season, I don't know. Like, are you all in anyways? Like, should you even be playing that year?
But right? we've seen retirement tours, though. I mean, Dirk Nowitzki had a retirement tour. Kobe Bryant had a retirement tour.
And even famously attached to you, Mitch Nellis, one of his best seasons he ever had, David Ortiz retirement tour was like cinema every single time, and
should not have retired. And like, he was still crushing the ball.
A stud.
Like, Red Sox fans are still salty about that.
But he knew that he probably, in his mind, he's like, all right, I can give it all for one more year, but I'm not sure I can go through the prep and the what it takes to get this thing ready for another season.
That's a good point.
I think of Miguel Cabrera going from place to place, just getting gifts. That was a thing. Like, he was just getting.
Dirk. I mean, Dirk Nowitzki got gifts ever. Tim Duncan got gifts.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant got gifts.
Every team he went to, every stop was like, this is the last time he's going to play here. Here's something. Here's the last time you're going to play here. Here's something.
What's his name? The pitcher for the Cardinals. Didn't he get a bunch of gifts?
Wainwright?
Yeah.
Did he?
Wainwright? I thought Adam Wainwright got some gifts.
I was looking up some of the best retirement tours in all of sports, and Ted Williams at 41 years old had an OPS over 1,000 and was 29 homers. He had 41 years old during that last season with the Red Sox. That's a pretty good one. Pujols hitting the 700 homer mark on that stretch. That was another great one.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, some people thought
was Mark McGuire's?
No, but same energy. Barry Bonds, basically no one wanted him anymore, so he had to retire. Right. I mean, he still had 132 walks that last season, in which he still could hit 25 homers a year easily during that stretch. And I always think of Peyton Manning too, right? Just going out on top, riding his team's coattails to a championship in his final year.
Do you think, like, how many guys in professional sports get to say, like, this is my last run, right? Like, it just doesn't, it's not a a normal thing to be able to play that long or have that much success where you're just going to say, hey, I'm playing this year. Like I'm going to be done. And I just don't think that many guys like have that mind. It's hard to step into that mindset, right? Where it's, I'm done after this season. I'm going to put it all in here. Like, this is it. I'd have a hard time, I think, having that mindset where it's like, I'm going into a year knowing that like I'm shutting it down.
God, I have so many questions. So what do you think, Mason, about guys like Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and Andrew Luck? And I know they're not exactly the same. Some were more injury than just wanted to walk away. And then what do you think about like a guy like Chris Borland, who like went to Madison, played for the 49ers, was, a league leader in tackles, a linebacker all over the place, but is worried about CTE and like comes out and says, I don't want brain damage. Like I'm calling it quits at 26 or
We're
whatever.
Definitely seeing more of that now than what we saw 10 years ago.
Who from the Detroit Lions, the center from the Lions?
Yeah, and then he came back.
Right.
He tried to come back.
Tried to come back. Yeah.
I don't know.
But
but he had a torn hamstring.
So what is the response when somebody like who's 30 at the top of their game says like, you know what? I don't want this on my body anymore.
Well, like Patrick Willis, Hall of Famer for the Niners. Like, again, I do think there is so much that people don't know, outside of the doctors and the building, of like the little injuries, the injuries that just like you're battling nonstop. And there are guys that just get to an end of a season and it's like, I literally don't think I can get myself prepared. Or if I do, something significant could happen to me. And you just decide, all right, like I've made enough. I can do other things. Like my body, my mind, all these things are worth more to me than putting myself out there one more time. Because think about like a Patrick Willis. He just came out hot and had 8 amazing years, and then it was done. Yep. But he's a Hall of Famer. Like it's crazy to think like, you always want more out of some of those guys, but
like JJ Watt, right?
And they're amazing.
JJ Watt too.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
Could have played another year or two.
Barry Sanders was probably
that was different.
The first and like before its time, where you're like that one was a surprise. Like that was
a huge surprise.
You're just like, what's going on here? Like this guy is like in his prime right now, and he just shuts it down. So
was that an indictment? And I, you think of Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. Was that a commentary on the franchise they played for? Because the Lions were a mess for so long. And granted, they didn't retire at the same time. But I think a lot of people look back and say like, well, Barry Sanders did it first, and that made it okay for Calvin Johnson to walk away from the Lions, who were so bad for so long under different regimes. They were still bad.
Yeah. Yeah. The Calvin Johnson one, he definitely, he was, his ankles, how big he was and the position he played. I mean, he was banged up all the time. So he might have had that a product of injuries and things like longevity of his, just a quality of life. And he's like, all right, I'm not going to sign back up for another 1 in 15 season and put myself at risk to break a leg, type of deal. And so I look at Calvin Johnson probably more in that vein. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what retirement from like a fan perspective kind of got you emotional? Like where it was like, man, that was the time. I know obviously I was part of the Brett Favre retirement, whenever I came in after my rookie year and seeing that and just seeing the fan response of that legend moving on from, and then the aftermath when he decided to come back. But I had never experienced, I think, anything until that moment of the fandom and the emotion that came with a guy like Brett Favre retiring.
Well, if you want to see a grown man cry, just put on Prince Fielder's retirement speech. And if they don't cry, like they're not human, right? I mean, that was another one that was injury riddled and forced to retire. But I mean, he's literally in a neck brace that's way more serious than Pat McAfee's neck brace, as he is telling everyone that he is done playing professional baseball.
And I've got a good one along those lines. You talk about a neck injury, Mason, near and dear, to your heart. I think we all remember Nick Collins, and I think Packers fans will really remember. Nick Collins was going to be a Hall of Famer potentially. Like, I mean, he was on his way
Best
to
safety in
having that
football.
type of career. But yeah, he was awesome. Obviously had his moment in the Super Bowl. But when he got hurt against Carolina, and then like, I remember because like, I think Homer and I had done a radio show at a car dealership with him like a month earlier.
Yeah.
And he was like talking about like how excited he was and like he was just in his prime and he was like taking over and like so much and then just like that. And every specialist, you know, he went to
safety, he was like one of the fastest players on our team.
Yeah.
Like, and just built
he
and
was
like
smart, he was strong, he was and I think a lot of Packers fans, you know, that
and then that one puts you in perspective as a player.
Yeah.
Because we rewatched the hit like that, and it wasn't like a significant moment, and it caught him the wrong way, and it kind of gets. I think that's like where guys we're talking about retiring early. You look at those things, you're like, it doesn't take something crazy sometimes to happen. You get in a bad position, and something happens, and all of a sudden your career can be done.
Yeah.
So if you can get out before that moment happens. You're just seeing more and more guys doing that.
Well, and then you got a guy like 414 text in 414-677-1250, the Nick Law Talking text line. A guy like Derek Jeter, I mean, plays his entire career for one team and like gets, you know, and does, you know, has an amazing connection to the fans.
Yeah.
And even transcends. I mean, like Jeter's the guy that Red Sox fans will say, like, you know, I hated him, but I respected him.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to like just hatred for the guy across on the other side. Like Jeter was that guy. Let's go to Al in Cedarburg. Al, you're up on the Mason Crosby show.
Gentlemen, thanks for taking my call. How's it going today?
We're doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, it's fantastic. Love this topic too. So got a couple different variations on this. So I think a couple of retirements that were just way too early that kind of shocked, I think, the sports world. Andrew Luck, Barry Sanders. I think Jim Brown was one that obviously that predates me a little bit, but just from a history standpoint, I know that was really, really huge. And then just some injury riddled ones. You guys touched on Nick Collins. That was a great call. Similar to Neck, when Sterling Sharp had to retire because of his injury, and I was only about almost 9 years old, but that was just like, oh my God, I didn't understand like why all of a sudden my favorite athlete of all time just was not really playing like ever again. So that really shook me. And then I think another one that was a little or that kind of maybe went a little bit on too long, even though I did love it. I loved him. The Favre on and off, I think, wore everybody a little too thin. And from even and Thunder, you know, having, you know, worked in the sports media at the time along with you, that was exhausting.
Yes, it was.
But emotionally, it was just still. I mean, as a fan, like that was tough to watch. And then last call, and this one was like the what if, like if this person was never hurt, I think this career could have been something historic, and that's Brandon Roy. When you want to look about NBA
Brandon
guys,
Roy.
Yes, when you want to look about guys, from Portland Trailblazers. I mean, just from his straight skill set and the guys in the era that he was going up against from right around 2006 to 2014. I mean, that was a prime era, and I think Brandon Roy, his knee, he didn't have any ligaments in his knee. So just imagine to see what he would have done. So that was my kind of just background on that. So I appreciate you guys listening. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. Thanks, Al. 414 writes in, the one that got me was Leroy Butler. He is my all-time favorite Packer. And then 262 writes in, I think the Christian Yelich speech will kill Milwaukee. The day that
that's a good point.
Looking forward to the future. But it's like, you know, that's the type of relationship we have, and that's why we're fans. Right? Because we grow to love our guys, and they're our guys, and we cheer for them, you know, in baseball every day, and football every week, and basketball a couple times a week. And I know JB in the 920s, JB in 920s having like an absolute fit right now. Whether like Brock Lesnar is not Barry Sanders, whatever, and that's fine. But Brock Lesnar performed for 25 years for us. And there are people who see it that way. There are people who are fans of the entertainment world, and that he was an MMA champion. Yeah. Right. And
I can agree with JB on the fact that, yes,
is it the
it's
same?
different because Brock Lesnar went for 25 years, and it's like it's a symbolic like moment where
Right.
it's like he's been part of this for so long. Barry Sanders, legend in his sport and his game.
One of the greatest running backs of all
and
time.
He cut it way too short in a lot of people's minds, right? But is he thankful for that? Probably. He's probably thinking, man, I've probably made as much or done as much as I did playing. And now I have my body and my mind and all of those things that I can lean on, where had I played 2 or 3 more years or even one more game, all that could have changed. Right?
920 hated it when Michael Jordan retired for 2 years. We all knew he was coming back, but yeah. And JB in the 920.
Yeah, that was like a different situation, right?
That was
when his dad died.
And gambling.
Gambling. He had to get out.
He did. JB in the 920 does say Sterling Sharp and Nick Collins. When we come back, it's Mason's Extra Points. And we do have some breaking kicker news.
We do.
That we do have to discuss during Mason's Extra Points.
That's right.
And
kicker time.
Yeah. He's Tommy. I'm Thunder. He's Mason. We are the Mason Crosby Show.
Yeah, buddy.
One of us is big time. Wait, what?
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis. Tell me what's on your mind. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Oh, thanks for listening to the Mason Crosby Show on this beautiful Monday. Got kid home sick, still nursing my wife back to health. I am just, I'm just here. I'm just here to give care and take care of anyone I can. So if you're sick or healing from something, I'm gonna put a business together and just become a full-time care member.
The caretaker.
Brandon
the
Aubrey.
Caretaker, yeah.
Brandon Aubrey.
Big deal, yeah. So and they're talking about like, did he lose his leverage and like should he have taken a deal early? I mean, I think he did pretty well there, right?
I mean, $20 million guaranteed. I think he's doing all right.
I think he's doing all right. So he set the new mark. It's just I don't think anyone was ever going to jump, up to that, $8-9 million range.
No,
it just doesn't. That's not how the kicker market works, right? Like they just don't jump that big. It's just like, all right, you just tick ahead of the next guy.
As the salary cap goes up, like those numbers will go up, but they're not going to go exponentially. They're going to go percentage-wise.
Bigger overpay.
Just bumps.
Dallas to their kicker or Cincinnati to get a defensive lineman to come play for them.
Who overpaid?
Yeah.
10th pick in the draft, and they gave him a 1-year, $28 million extension, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence. Yeah.
I don't know.
That was kind of a weird deal to see come across our feed this
weird.
weekend, right?
It was weird.
You know what? It makes sense for Cincinnati, though. They had to do something defensively. They still have offensive players who are good enough to make the playoffs. It's their defense that's let them down every year.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, and by the way, I got this. If you were watching on YouTube, I got this hat at the Riley Green concert on Saturday night.
Nice, humble
took
brag.
Nolan and Charlotte, and had a good time. And they went and picked it out. They were like, "We gotta get some merch," and they brought me back this hat. So camo hat says Green's Taxidermy, and just rocking it on the show today.
Very nice. Well, we'll be back tomorrow to rock it again. We'll see if Mason's wearing the same hat or a different hat. Mace, you do you, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tommy's been wearing the same hat for like a week and a half.
He loves that hat.
Yeah.
He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Mason Crosby's the kicker. We are the Mason Crosby Show. That went early.